So in each of the management frames, we see a new multi-link information element. So when I did this over-the-air packet capture, I locked into the 3 bands that the AP was using for its different radios, so 116.6 and 37. So we know we're going to be looking at my pre-share key WPA3 network. And if we expand the tagged parameters here, here's our new multi-link information element. So taking a closer look at this, this is telling us what operational modes it supports. So it does say it supports enhanced multi-link as well as multi-link device. The common info we show represented here the MAC address that's going to be used throughout the rest of the management frames that we see, as far as what it's using is what it's defining as the multi-link device MAC address. In this case, this is the MAC address of the BSSID on the 6 gigahertz radio, but we'll see this referred to even when we're looking at some of the information from the other bands. Another important note to make here is this link ID. So this link ID represents which band the link is operating on. So link 0 is 6 gigahertz, 1 is 5 gigahertz, so we're on a 5 gigahertz band right here, so channel 116, and a 2 represents 2.4 gigahertz. So we saw that this is supporting EML and MLD, but it also shows us more specifically what it supports with inside of those. So it's saying it supports the enhanced multi-link single radio, but it does not support the enhanced multi-link multi-radio. So this is coming from the access point itself. If we look at the multi-link device capabilities, it does support simultaneous links. So this is another important distinction to make here. So it says maximum number of simultaneous links, 2. So that's 2 in addition to the link that we're actually on. So we're on 5 gigahertz right now. We're on the 5 gigahertz link. So this is really saying that we support 3 links altogether. So it's a little misleading. It took me a minute to wrap my head around that, but yeah, so that's saying that we support STR on up to 3 links. This TID here, this is basically how we can do QoS, or how we can steer frames or packets across the 3 different links. When it's set to 3, that means any of the 3 links can be used for a TID mapping. So a TID is mapped to a certain type of traffic. Maybe in a future video we'll get into that a little bit more, but that's what we're representing there. So that's about it for the multi-link element in the beacon frame. But one other important thing to note is that we're looking at the passive discovery that a client would use. So passive discovery is obviously looking at beacon frames, but another thing that it's going to look at out of the beacon frame is the reduced neighbor report. So we know that this is showing that we have 2 other APs that are also servicing this SSID. And in this case, it's not really 2 other APs, it's 2 other radios on the same AP. So if we look at this TBTT information, so this is saying here that we've got a channel number 37. So this is our 6 gigahertz link, and that is also represented by same SSID here. It is a multiple BSSID and link ID 0. So we know link ID 0 is 6 gigahertz, which is referred to here as well. So the R&R is saying, hey, you have capabilities of this same BSSID on 6 gigahertz as well as channel 6 on 2.4. Again, we're already on 5 gigahertz, so we're not going to see that as neighbor report information. And if we expand this again, so we see 0x2, this is 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, that's about it for the beacons.